Yay! Woohoo! Welcome, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us again for our nightly Facebook Live concert. It's been such a pleasure to share our music with you these past few weeks. This is week number 4 now. And we thank you all so much for listening and being with us on this journey as we begin our virtual jazz club experience. If we have any new listeners tonight, we are Laura Dubin and Antonio Guerrero. And we'd love for you to all leave a comment and say hello. Let us know where you're watching from. If you're new here, feel free to introduce yourself in the comments. It'll be great to meet you, even if it's only through Facebook for the time being. Tonight, we would like to start with a composition called Backwards Bop. And this was composed by one of the great contemporary jazz pianists and composers on the scene today named Billy Childs. And Billy Childs performed at the Jazz Festival here in Rochester a couple years ago. I think maybe it was 2 years ago, 3 years ago.
2 years ago.
Yeah, I'm getting my years mixed up now. But anyway, Antonio and I were at his concert, and this was the first tune that he played with his band. And it was one of those pieces that we heard it and just like immediately we turned to each other and said, we need to learn that one. Yeah. So fast forward a couple months, we purchased his album and we transcribed the piece. And now we're going to play it for you. It was recorded on an album that he released, I think that same year he played at the Jazz Festival. And the album is called Rebirth. And it won a Grammy that year for Best Instrumental Jazz Album. And it was absolutely well-deserved because every single composition on the album is so special, so interesting and intricate, and all the pieces really seem to like tell a really elaborate story. They almost all sound like they could be like part of a movie because there's just so much like imagery that comes to mind when you hear the pieces and just like these kind of epic scenes. I don't know, at least that's how I felt when I listened to this album. So we highly recommend you check it out. His album called Rebirth, and we'd like to play the first piece from that album, which is called Backwards Bop. One, two, three, was called Backwards Bop, composed by the pianist Billy Childs. It's so much fun to play that piece. You can probably understand why we immediately wanted to learn it when we heard him play it. It's just like, what was that? You got to listen to it a whole bunch of times, and then it's like, oh, okay, I see what they're doing there. It's an appropriately titled piece. Next, we'd like to play an original composition of mine. And as many of you know, especially if you've been watching our videos the last few weeks, I tend to compose a lot of music that's dedicated to pianists who have influenced me. And when I write those pieces, I try to kind of emulate their style within the composition. Obviously, I put a little bit of my own heart and soul into it as well, but I try to kind of emulate their sort of jazz vocabulary that they were well known for using. Their personal sound, if you will, because that's like part of the learning process for me. Part of how I understand how certain pianists played and developed their own signature sounds. One of the great ways to do that is actually trying to compose a piece of music in the style of those musicians. So anyway, this is a piece dedicated to the great pianist Bill Evans, and it's called Waltz for Bill. And Bill Evans was a master of the jazz waltz. We played his composition Waltz for Debbie a few nights ago. And this piece was a little bit inspired by that. It was just inspired in general by the playing and the artistry of Bill Evans. But that song specifically did have kind of an influence on this composition. So we hope you enjoy Waltz for Bill. You can also hear this on our live album that we recorded at the Rochester Jazz Festival in 2016. Oh, that's fine. That's comfortable.
Yeah.
Sorry. Thank you. That was my original composition called Waltz for Bill, dedicated to one of my musical heroes, the great pianist Bill Evans. If you're enjoying the music tonight and you would like to make a contribution to show your support and allow us to keep doing these videos as long as possible, please head on over to my website, lauradubin.com. There's a link right in the video here. If you want to wait till after the music's over, that's okay, of course, because we do hope you'll listen to the next few pieces that we're going to play. But there are 3 ways that you can make a contribution if you are interested. And the first is that you can download our albums. We've got 7 albums that you can choose from. So you can have your choice or download all 7 if you want. One of them is a Christmas album, but if you're feeling the Christmas spirit again for whatever reason, you can listen to that one now. But anyway, we've got 7 albums that you can download there, and that is the first option that you'll see when you click on the link. It'll take you right to the store page of my website. Then if you keep scrolling, you will also see an option to make a one-time donation. There are several amounts that you can choose from, but you can also adjust any of them if you'd like to by changing the quantity. And then if you go all the way to the bottom of the same page, you will see an option to become a monthly subscriber or a monthly patron of Laura Dubin Jazz. And when you click on the yellow subscribe button, you'll be taken to a PayPal site, and you can set up your monthly payment from there. There are several amounts that you can choose from to contribute every month, and there's no obligation or penalty if you ever decide to cancel at any time. But it'll be an automatic credit card payment that you can set up, and PayPal will store your information securely. And my website is also secure. I have no access to your credit card info or anything like that. However, if you do want to make a donation but you prefer not to do it through the internet, that's okay. Please send me a message here on Facebook and we can talk about another method. And if you are enjoying the music but you're unable to make a contribution at this time, we completely understand. That's okay. And we just really appreciate the support you're giving us right now just by listening to our music and watching these videos and sharing our videos. A huge thank you to everybody who's been watching and sharing so far, and everybody who's made a contribution so far these last few weeks. It's really given us a lot of hope and so much motivation to keep sharing our music with you every day, no matter what happens in this crazy world and this crazy life and universe that we're all living in now. Next, we'd like to play, I bet you aren't surprised that we're playing another Horace Silver composition. He's got so many great tunes. I think that every set should have a Horace Silver tune in it because we can't get enough of his music. And as I mentioned a few nights ago when we played another one of his compositions, they're all so different. All his tunes have their own unique personalities and fun, unique things about them. And most importantly, we just love to play them. So this piece comes from an album called The Cape Verdean Blues, and that is actually also the name of the tune. And Horace Silver's father was actually from the Cape Verdean Islands, which is why he wrote this piece, I think. Yep, little Horace Silver history there. So we hope you enjoyed this piece, The Cape Verdean Blues. Exactly, his name backwards. That was the Cape Verdean Blues by Horace Silver. We loved playing his music so much, and in particular, that tune. Next, we'd like to play one of our own arrangements of a Great American Songbook classic, and this is actually probably one of the most well-known jazz standards of all time, and a lot of jazz musicians throughout history have loved to play this piece.
The most requested in the jam sessions.
Yes, this is probably without a doubt the most requested tune at jam sessions when jazz musicians get together to play for the first time and they're calling a tune. This is probably the number one. I'm talking about All the Things You Are by Jerome Kern and Hammerstein, Oscar Hammerstein. I almost said Richard Hammerstein. Richard Rodgers and Oscar Hammerstein. Yeah. Kern and Hammerstein were a great songwriting team before Rodgers and Hammerstein. Kern and Hammerstein eventually parted ways, and then Rodgers and Hammerstein collaborated together, and they wrote so many great songs as well. But this classic is by Kern and Hammerstein. And because I love this tune, it's a beautiful piece of music, and it's got so many beautiful elements to it. But at some point, this was when I was actually back in college when I did this arrangement, I wanted to come up with something different simply because so many people played this tune, and a lot of the time it was kind of played in the standard way all the time. So I wanted to come up with something a little bit different as far as the feeling of the piece goes, and so I ended up changing a bunch of things. I changed the time signature to 5/4. This is probably the first jazz standard that I arranged in 5/4, and it certainly was not the last. It was the first of many to come, as our listeners know. We love to play in 5/4. But anyway, I changed the time signature to 5/4 and kind of simplified some of the harmonies a little bit to make them maybe a little bit darker sounding. Not darker in a bad way, but just kind of, I don't know, I tried to put like kind of a different color on it, if you will. Yeah, let's say deep. Let's say
profound.
Yeah, let's say we made the harmonies profound. Yeah. The original harmonies are beautiful. There's a lot of chords. If you're familiar with the original song, pretty much every single lyric or every single word or beat of the song has a different chord, which is super cool, and it's amazing how they compose the piece. However, I just wanted to do something a little bit different with it. So this is what we came up with. This is our arrangement of All the Things You Are. That was our arrangement of a classic Great American Songbook piece of music called All the Things You Are. We'd like to play another original composition next, and I will not get too political here in my introduction of this tune. However, I will share the story of how it came about. So I had this dream. Oh, I probably had this dream around January of 2017, if we all remember what happened in the US around that time. I had a dream one night that we were in this blues bar, or we were in a bar, some random bar that only existed in my dream. And there was this great blues band playing with like guitar and drums and electric bass, and they were a great band. So, and they were an instrumental group. And suddenly, this is the dream, suddenly the lead guitarist got on the microphone and said, "And now we'd like to bring to the stage Hillary Clinton." And she came up and sang this song with the band. And because I'm a total music nerd, when I woke up, I immediately remembered the key that she was singing in, which was the key of A. And I remembered the feeling of the song. It was this very slow blues tune. It's kind of called what's known as a 12/8 feel, which is a very typical style for music that is slow, but it kind of gives you some sort of like subdivision to feel the pulse of the tune. And a lot of really great blues tunes are sung in that style. So anyway, I thought, wow, I have to make this into a real song, because that's just too great that I had this dream and remembered the key and the style and everything. I don't remember the words that she sang. I remember like, kind of syllables coming out of her mouth, I guess. But there weren't really any words in the dream, but I distinctly remember like the feeling and the sound and the groove of this tune. So I'm sure most of you will understand the title of this. I might not explain it exactly correctly right now, but this tune is called Nasty Woman Blues. And I'd like to dedicate this to all the fellow nasty women out there who are just being awesome, powerful women. Keep on being who you are. And if you're unfamiliar with the story, maybe I'll tell you about it a little later. I'm not going to repeat it here now, but we do hope you enjoy this tune, Nasty Woman Blues.
Yeah.
For those of you who aren't aware of it, I will just say that this phrase means something good. It means nasty in a good way, not in a bad way, from the way that we take it now. It originally was something bad, and awesome women made it into something good. That was my original composition called Nasty Woman Blues. Woo! Girl power, woman power, representing over here. Thank you so much for being with us tonight. We've got one more tune to play for you, and that will be all the music for tonight. But as always, we'd love to stick around and say hello to all of you afterward, much in the same way that we ordinarily do at our live performances. We love to come chat with the audience afterward. Since we can only interact with each other now through Facebook, it's kind of the internet version of what we do at our live performances. So please leave a comment and say hello if you haven't already done so. Let us know where you're watching from, whether you are a few miles down the road from us here in Rochester, maybe you're in another city, country, state, or...
Galaxy or black hole, or...
you're in another black hole.
Another parallel universe of reality.
And if that's where you are, please let us know what it's like over there. We might need to come visit for an extended period of time. So we will be back here tomorrow night at the same time. We're doing these live Facebook concerts every night at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And if you have any friends who aren't on Facebook, but you think they'd enjoy the music, you can send them the link to this Facebook page, my Facebook music page, which is public. You can still watch these videos even if you don't have a Facebook account. The only difference is you aren't able to like interact with the video, so you can't like the video or leave a comment, but you can still watch it. We are also uploading all these videos to YouTube every night after the live performance finishes. So if you know some people who might prefer to watch them there, you can send them to YouTube. They can visit my channel, Laura Dubin Jazz. They'll find all the videos there. And we are also putting them on my website as well, which of course is lauradubin.com. So there's 3 different places that you can see these videos. And as most of you know, but in case we have any new folks here tonight, these videos do stay on Facebook forever after the live stream ends. So if you missed the beginning of tonight's performance and you'd like to go back and listen to it after this live stream ends, you can absolutely do that. If you've been enjoying the music tonight, feel free to head on over to my website after we play this last tune. There's a link right in the video here. My website is lauradubin.com. The link will take you right to the music/store page of the site. And there are 3 ways you can make a contribution if you'd like to show your support for what we're doing. You can either download our albums. We've got 7 albums for you to choose from. You can make a one-time donation of any amount that you choose. There are several suggested amounts there, but you can adjust them to your liking if you want to by changing the quantity. And you can also become a monthly patron of Laura Dubin Jazz, and that's the final option that you'll see if you scroll all the way to the bottom. You can click on the yellow subscribe button after you select an amount from the drop-down menu of whatever amount you'd like to contribute each month. And from there, you'll set up an ongoing automated credit card payment through PayPal. It stores your information securely, so it's a great way to show your ongoing support if you'd like to see us continue doing these videos for as long as possible. And the PayPal site is secure. It stores your info securely, and my website is also secure, so we don't have any access to your bank information or credit card info or anything like that. However, if you would like to make a donation but you prefer not to do it online, please send me a private message here on Facebook and we can talk about another method. And as always, I truly mean this. We mean this from the bottom of our hearts. If you're unable to make a contribution at this time, that's okay. The most important thing for us is that you're here with us, enjoying our music, and we just can't thank you enough for your support. It truly means the world to us. So thank you so much. And without further ado, we'd like to play our last tune, and this is going to be another Horace Silver composition. And I swear we didn't plan this on purpose, but it just worked out that we played a tune called Nasty Woman Blues, and now we're going to play Filthy McNasty. So we got to figure out how to combine them into Filthy McNasty Woman Blues. That'll be my next project. Hope you enjoy this tune by Horace Silver.
Is the mic off? Yeah.
Yep.
Thank you.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3. That was Filthy McNasty by Horace Silver. And that is all the music for tonight, but we will see you back here at the same time tomorrow night, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we'd love to stick around and say hello for a few minutes. I just saw my dad left a comment. Hi, Dad! Thank you for watching. I usually can't see when we're in the middle of playing. I usually don't see who's writing the comments, but I just saw that my dad wrote a comment. So thank you so much for watching again. He said, hi, Laura Antonio. Thank you for the music.
Jan. Thank you.
Yay! I don't know what that weird noise was. Your mom and Deanna both shared the video. Thank you so much.
Thank
Muchas
you, Mom.
gracias. Thank you both.
Gracias, Mom.
Yeah.
Gracias, Diana.
Yay! Thank you all so much for being here. And by the way, I say this every night, but we always have new people watching, so that's why I repeat myself a lot. If you're watching this on my personal Facebook page, please head on over to my Facebook music page, which is Laura Dubin Jazz, and give the page a like if you haven't yet, because that way you'll be notified every time we do these live videos. I mean, you can always just plan on checking at 8:30 every night, but you'll get like the real notification when the video comes on. And also, anytime I post any kind of music-related content, you'll be among the first to know if you like the page. So we hope that you'll do that if you haven't done so yet. Let's see. A bunch of people are watching tonight. Woohoo! Gotta lower my volume here. I'm gonna try to... Oh, Kim! I'm not sure if you're still there, but hi, Kim! I miss you so much. It's so weird not seeing you every day. So Kim Shafino is the owner of Musically Fit, which is the beautiful piano studio over in Pittsford where I teach piano lessons. Kim is the owner and the main piano teacher there. And it's been so weird not going there because I'm usually there 3 days a week. It's like a part of my routine every week. Now I've been doing lessons through FaceTime and Skype, and actually I'll take this moment to put a little plug in that if you're interested in taking piano lessons, I'm offering a free 15-minute demo lesson if you'd like to try a lesson through FaceTime or Skype or Zoom or whatever video chat platform that you have. It's actually been going pretty well, a little even better than I thought it would be when I first started doing lessons in this way when this quarantine began. So just a little shout out, and thank you so much for watching, Kim. Not sure if you're still there, but I saw that you were watching, so thank you so much. Hey, Linda, great to see you again. And she says, hello from me and my treadmill. You're very ambitious. Oh, also, wow. That's like a really late hour to be working out. That's very impressive. I can't say that I've been doing the same thing. Yeah. Although we are working out a lot as we play. I will say that for the record. Woo. Hey, Donna, thank you for watching again and for sharing our videos again. We really appreciate it. Got well over 200 views already with many more to join your jazz show. I saw Teddy Wilson. Oh my gosh, I'm so jealous. You saw Teddy Wilson on the piano with Lionel Hampton on vibes and Louis Bellson on the drums. Oh my God. Wish that we were at that concert. That's amazing. I don't know. Do you remember what year that was? If you do, you could write it in the comments here. That's incredible. I would have loved to be there.
Lionel Hampton was a drummer too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he was incredible, good drummer too.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, so many legendary musicians that we wish we had an opportunity to see. Yes. I think the best thing about jazz, and I guess this is inherent in its existence, but pretty much the entire history of jazz is documented on records or now, CDs and the internet now. But it's so interesting and wonderful because if you think about classical music, none of the great composers that we know, like Beethoven or Mozart, actually had their music recorded. So none of us will ever really know what they sounded like. But jazz, it's all there, all the history for us to enjoy.
And after all these improvements of the instruments and the temper and the tuning, they can never imagine that the music would sound like now.
Oh, you mean like classical music?
Classical music,
exactly.
Yeah, classical music.
Because like Mozart, for example, didn't have a piano like this. They had, first of all, it was a much shorter keyboard, and it just sounded completely different than this is like the modern piano that we know today. But yeah, it'd be amazing to know what they would think of all this, all these instruments that we have now. I would really like to know what they would think about that. Unfortunately, we'll never know, but it's cool to imagine. That would be a cool movie. If anybody wants to write that movie, I would definitely watch it. Your mom says, "Bravo, Antonio," with a drum and clapping emojis. Gracias, ma. Greg, thank you for watching again, Greg. He says, "Not one night off. Nope, we're doing it every night." And it's really like the best part of our day. Truly, it's you know, I'm sure that many of you out there feel this way. You know, you might be trying to make the most of the situation we're all in right now, and I do feel that, you know, we're all in this together, and everybody's got their own unique personal challenges that they're dealing with. And I know for us, like, every day just feels a little bit different. You know, some days might be better than others, but there are new waves of emotion that kind of come and go every day in the situation that we're in now. And so what we're doing here every night really just helps keep us grounded, and just, you know, it's a way for us to remind ourselves that this is our, kind of feels like this is our purpose here in life, and it gives us so much joy, and we're really happy to share it with all of you. So we do plan on doing this every night, long into the foreseeable future. So thank you so much for watching again, Greg.
Thank you.
Donna says, "Did you know that Michael Feinstein owns Richard Rogers Steinway piano?" Oh, that's so cool. They were very close friends. I saw Michael Feinstein a few years ago at Eastman Theater. Wow, I wonder how they had that connection. Maybe they knew each other, and well, no, they wouldn't have known each other. They're very different generations. But that's really cool. Maybe he inherited, or somehow, if you know the story about that, I'd love to know. It's super cool. Yeah. Having somebody's instrument is like such a special thing, because it's like you have a part of them in your home.
Have you mentioned that we were in Paris? You were playing this piano.
Oh yeah.
By Michel Legrand.
You know, and we played a Michel Legrand piece like 2 weeks ago, and I forgot to tell that story. We played "You Must Believe in Spring" a couple weeks ago when it was the beginning of spring, and I was going to tell that story and I forgot, so I'm glad you reminded me now.
It's in the Le Pianos.
Yeah.
Le Pianos.
When Antonio and I were in Paris last summer, we played a gig at a venue called Les Pianos. The reason that it has that name is because it's actually a venue that used to be a piano factory. It's since been converted into a restaurant and jazz venue. They've got all these old parts of different pianos there, like left over from the factory days. But Michel Legrand's piano is actually the piano in the venue, like for the musicians to actually play, and it was a beautiful instrument. And yeah, I got to play on it. That was really special.
Do you remember it was Steinway?
Oh yeah.
Before Steinway.
Yeah.
It's
so Steinway, most pianists know this, but for non-pianists in the audience, the Steinway brand is like the Ferrari of pianos. Every pianist wants to have a Steinway. That's like one of my big bucket list goals in life, although I love this baby, so I'm really not complaining at all. But Steinways are like cream of the crop pianos, and the company's been around for many generations. But this piano, Michel Legrand's piano at this venue, the brand was Steinweg. That's how you would pronounce it in German. So it's spelled Steinweg. And I thought, actually I asked the venue owner, was this a company that was trying to copy Steinway? I thought it was like a Steinway knockoff maybe. And she said, no, this was actually what Steinway was originally called. And Weg does mean way in German. So that was actually the original Steinway before it became Steinway. So that was really, really special. I forget the year that piano was from. It must have been 18 something. Yeah. So yeah, it was really cool.
Robespierre, right?
The name of the street that it was on.
The subway station?
Yeah. Was there a guillotine there or
no.
something? I mean, like an old artifact of one.
I have in my mind something about Robespierre.
Yeah, I think that was the street that it was on.
The street,
it was called Rue Robespierre, and I remember we got lost on the way. Half the fun of traveling is getting lost, of course. But you take a wrong turn, and we found some building that was the same number as the building we were looking for, but it was like a pharmacy instead of a jazz club. Antonio and I are just reminiscing about our trip last summer. Hopefully we'll get to travel again sometime.
Yes, and hello, our friends there.
Yes, bonjour or bonsoir
our
at this
bass
time.
player, Pierre.
Yeah.
He plays with us.
Yeah.
Fantastic bass player.
Pierre Gross.
And
And Julian.
Yes.
He played with us at the Canapé, which was a venue that I think we talked about a few weeks ago because we played that composition, the Canapé.
Great musicians.
We met so many amazing musicians in Paris. It was just the best time ever. So hopefully we'll go back again someday when we can all travel again. Oh, Linda says she loved the Hillary dream story. Thank you. That was like definitely one of my most memorable dreams that I've ever had. And for those of you who are still watching, if you would like, I can share some really funny stories about some of the dreams I've had. I'll just tell one, the laughing dream. After I read all these comments here.
You have a good repertoire of dreams.
Yeah. Deanna says, "Mom and I very much enjoy your performance. We love you both. We love you too.
Thank you, Diana.
Thank you so much for watching."
My little sister, Dianita.
Yeah. Oh, I love the little Mexican flag. Oh, and Donna says she's a huge fan of Hillary. Yes, I am too. Having met her at parties when she was our senator. Oh, that's so cool. Love to hear your stories about that sometime. That would be fun. And Dad, hi Dad again. That was the comment that I saw at the when we finished playing. I saw my dad's comment pop up. So if any of you are still listening, and I'm just gonna share this dream that I had like a year ago because it's just the funniest thing ever. Some of you might know this story already. So this was, I think it was on a Saturday or like a Friday night going into Saturday. I was, sleeping in because we probably had a gig the night before, and Antonio was already awake early in the morning, and suddenly I was having this dream that was so funny that I actually laughed in real life, and I woke myself up with my own laughter. And Antonio came in the room. He didn't know what was going on, and he thought maybe I was crying because he had heard me from the next room, and I could not stop laughing. And now with all that buildup, it's probably not even going to sound that funny when I tell this dream, but I had a dream that I was in this like a yoga class, which I honestly haven't really done before, but I was taking a yoga class in this dream, but it wasn't like yoga exactly. It was like yoga and like funny dancing. And the song that was playing in the class, we were doing this kind of yoga dance to this piece by Mozart, Rondo alla Turk. So this like very peppy piece. So it wasn't like so much slow yoga as it was like kind of dancing, but in the dream, and because this is a dream and anything can happen in a dream, I was simultaneously myself in the dream, and also I was like watching myself from behind. So I basically saw myself in this dream doing the most ridiculous dance moves to this Mozart piece, and just the combination of that like peppy music combined with my very silly looking crazy dancing just looked so funny in the dream. I wish that my brain had like recorded it like a movie so I could play it for you all on a screen and you could just see how hilarious it looked. So that was the dream that made me laugh, and I literally woke up laughing. So I had the best day ever after that. And I remember we had a gig at the Little that night, and it just set us up for a great day, and we had a great gig that night.
Some of these days we have to share the videos when you were dancing.
Yeah,
the Waltz of the Flowers and all that.
Oh my gosh.
Laura was like 10 or 9, I don't know, and she was dancing.
I think even younger. I think I was like 7.
Yeah. We should see that video.
We've got a famous Dubin family video where my little brother Nick and he's 5 years younger than me, so I think I was 7 in the video, so he was like 2 or 3 I think at the time. We were dancing to a recording of the Nutcracker Suite. This was at Christmas time, and I used to love to pretend to be a ballerina. I actually still love to pretend to be a ballerina, but I had this like pink and blue tutu that I always wore, and I just looked ridiculous. And we were dancing around the living room. It's so funny. So maybe we'll play a little clip of that someday. Yeah, or when we're still doing these videos at Christmas next year, I'll put that up while we play that piece. Yeah. So if you're still here, thanks for listening to our silly stories. It's fun to share them with you.
Thank you, all our friends and family. Thank you.
Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you back here again at the same time tomorrow night. Bye.
Bye-bye. There were 6 people watching still. I hope they enjoyed.